Hi, I'm Preeti Reddy, CEO of the Insights division of Kantar South Asia, and I'm going to talk to you today about the management lessons that I have learned from my mother. When I was in my teens, like most teenagers, I felt that I knew everything. I was convinced that my mother had no worldly skills, and actually, she had a lot to learn from me. As I grew older, after I graduated from business school and I started working, I grudgingly had to acknowledge that the first business school I had attended was actually run by my mother, and that the first lessons in management I learned were from her. I learned many lessons from her, but I would like to talk about five. One, the first lesson I learned was resilience, to keep on walking, whatever the circumstance. My mother saw illness, untimely deaths in the family, demanding in laws, financial difficulties, but she dealt with these challenges with grace and often with a smile. It taught me that the only way to deal with a difficult situation is to just deal with it. No amount of self pity, whining, complaining will help. And while there will be people who will help you overcome a difficult situation, in the final analysis, you yourself are the best person to resolve a difficult situation. The second lesson was that relationships need work. Seeing my mother deal with me and my siblings, my father, her in laws, her parents, house help, friends, relatives, helped me realize that relationships matter if one is to be successful. And relationships need work. Nurturing all relationships is important. Being respectful of others' opinions, spending time with people without an agenda, having genuine interest in their well being. And as a leader, it is important to connect with all employees on all team members at various levels. So, getting yourself to everyone's level so they're comfortable talking to you is something that I try to do. I try to do all the time. The third lesson was of breaking down problems into bite sized pieces and prioritizing. I learned from my mother that complex problems become easier if they are broken down into simpler, solvable ones. An insurmountable problem becomes much easier to handle if you can define it as a series of steps to climb, whether it is figuring out how to buy a new house or how to send your child to the US to study. Or now, in my case, how to meet targets, how to build a new business, how to improve quality of service. All of these are big decisions and big problems, but become easier if you A, break them into smaller steps, B, focus on priorities and prioritize the various tasks on hand. The fourth lesson is to work with passion. My mother worked outside the home. I saw her get her work home and work with us while we did our homework. She proudly showcased her achievements at work with us. I mean, she told us about her achievements at home and spoke about her work with excitement and passion. And it made me want to do what I love and to excel at it the way she was doing. The final lesson was of balancing the short term and the long term. I learned from my mother that the world needs to be viewed through two lenses, the here and now and the future. She would worry about what to put in our tiffin boxes every day as well as how to finance my parents' retirement home. As a CEO, one has to do the same. You have to scrutinize the challenges of the moment at intense magnification and also telescopically consider the opportunities of the future. And I want to quote Sanjeev Mehta, who's chairman of Hindustan Lever, who recently put it really well. He says that CEOs need to be willing to roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty to solve current business problems, and at the same time have the ability to zoom out and take a strategic view of things. They have to build for the future while navigating through the present. So, those were my five lessons. There is one lesson, however, that I was never quite able to learn from my mother, that of multitasking. She was way better at it than I am. Despite all my efforts, she was way better at managing multiple tasks at home and at work. I'm still working on it and I'm amazed at how she was able to do it so well.